I guess, yeah, this will be the Crossroads podcast number, I think, 19 now. I did a little fun one with my son today.
Nice.
So
How'd
we're
that
getting
go?
on a roll so far.
Yeah.
19 in the bank.
I've seen a few of them, and they're all pretty awesome, man. All the different kinds of artists you have, and just different walks of life, man. I dig it.
Thanks, bro. My dog, Albert Gonzales.
Yes.
The Montana boy. Hey, Jinx, you owe me a Coke? No.
Sounds good. All I got is Pepsi.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I don't really choose one over the other.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm more of a, was it Shasta? Is that?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Shasta.
I'm more of a Shasta guy.
Yeah, me too, man.
RC Cola.
I didn't always
baby.
have that much money to get the yeah.
RC Cola.
Yeah, dude. I've always wondered. I was like, man, is it the same companies that like own these generic knockoffs?
Would not be surprised. And also on the flip side, same companies that maybe own the organic companies sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're gonna be a smart business, you'd try to like just cater to that other.
All of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at first, like even just speaking about like organics, I think at first it was a lot of like local farmer push, but then the big corporations see it and they're like, "Oh, we want in on this," you know. But I would agree with the RC Cola and everything, man. I totally see the same pockets owning all of it, same distribution networks. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's something when you say distribution networks, it makes me think of like even I've thought of these different companies that so independent artists can release music.
Yeah.
So your music. Is it out on Spotify and stuff like that too?
I got I got a couple singles
Just
on
singles?
Spotify, but just like teasing stuff. Really good songs, but I haven't put a whole album out yet. Just
You got that in the works?
That's
or
in the works.
In your mind?
absolutely in the works. I definitely don't like to release stuff until it's ready, and a whole album of just amazing songs. Not because you ever make a song and you're like, that's a B+ song.
Oh yeah, I've made a lot of Fs. And, but then, you know how it is. You make a bunch,
Yep.
and you're like, dang, that one was really good.
Yep.
That one was an A.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And the older I get, the more A's I pop out. So I'm thinking that I want a whole album of A's, you know?
Definitely. I mean, so how long you been producing? Because you actually produce music as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been producing since I was too broke to buy beats.
Hey man, dude, that was the same reason why I started even learning how to do these things myself is because like, I can't afford to hire somebody else to do this.
Yeah, yeah. And then like
Well, great job. They sound dope. You got like a more of a pop sound too.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't listened to all your music,
Yeah.
but that's one thing that I've noticed. I was like, oh, which around this area in Montana,
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a lot of that being created.
That's
Is there?
true. No, you're right. It's more everyone's very specific and set to be just like a type of genre. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And being very good at that type of genre. And I wouldn't say just a whole lot of pop. You're absolutely right.
There's not like a pop scene so much. There's like an underground. There's like the hip hop scene,
Yeah.
and which you can slide pop in there because you can get up, perform with your beats and stuff.
Yep.
So when you started putting on these shows, because you just started putting on shows
This summer, just wanted to. Man, this was right after the pandemic. Like when I started getting this.
which is tough time
Yeah.
to start because the crowds.
Yep. And everybody, I'm just saying everybody's just so scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to be irresponsible, but at the same time, I'm like sick of it. I'm sick of the
Well, you
scared.
you gotta live your life,
Yeah.
and especially if you're trying to build for the future,
Yeah.
then you have to start.
Yeah, and live music, seeing people, seeing bands, seeing like just being together with music. I was missing it. So I had a lot of fun this summer, whether it was throwing shows or going to shows, just music.
Nice.
Yeah, because we had missed out so much on last year, and that was a lot of the goal, was to just bring live music back, in a responsible way. And so like, dude, started throwing shows in like April.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wild, man. Every single show that I threw, starting in April, the weather was on point. It might have even been March, dude. It was so early in the season, but I was just like excited to do it.
Were you doing outdoor ones?
Outdoor ones.
Oh,
yeah.
they were all
Yeah.
pretty much?
In Great Falls and Missoula. It was a lot of work, man. It was a lot of work.
So you got yourself sound system.
Yep.
So you would have to run the PA.
Yep.
So you got a mixer board and then the speakers.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Bought like a whole system for Marty, actually.
Dope.
Yeah, and so it was nice.
It's probably one of the biggest sound production companies in the state.
Absolutely, man. That dude is always busy and always upgrading his stuff. You know, that's what.
Good connection to have.
Yeah. It's just cool to watch. He was like somebody I looked up to growing up because he just was passionate about it, and almost every penny he earned, he would put it right back into a bigger screen, a bigger speaker, a bigger amp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember because I was telling you how I do some roadie work.
Yeah,
and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it, because even if the ultimate goal one day is to be, the show is your show, you're performing it, it's like, I need to get in here and work it.
Absolutely.
How'd you meet Marty?
Let's see here. I think I was just working. I was in Great Falls and I was selling internet back then, and I was like the direct sales rep, so I was doing all the events. Who else does all the events? Marty.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just one way I got. I was just started chit chat with him. I believe we may have known each other one time before that, but I can't recall. But we just instantly hit it off, and he would ask me to, run slideshows, run sound, do all kinds of different things for him. And he really wanted me to. I could tell that he would have loved it if I were to have, kind of really gone under his wing. I didn't have the ability to, because I had wife and kids, and then I just needed to kind of be in that part time. So I didn't have the ability to just go. But he wanted to show me the ropes, really show me the ropes, and I would have loved to, but I've just instead have just kind of looked up to him, helped him out wherever I could, and then he helps me out whenever. And I help him out. I definitely I helped him out so much with his phone issues, and was spending time being his friend as well as working on phones together. I'd go over to his house, and they'd cook my family steaks.
Oh, so it became an actual good relationship.
Yeah, and
not just another little contact.
Yeah, exactly.
In the phone where it's oh.
Yep, I get a hold of Marty when I need him, which is true. But
building relationships like that, I think, and some people will say things like, "Don't do business with friends," or whatever, and it's kind of a weird thing, because it's well, I really want to build really good relationships with the people I'm working with.
Absolutely.
And I guess sometimes it's can be fishy, but really you want to build those good relationships.
Yes. Yeah, and so it's been a blessing, man, just having Marty as a friend.
So then you actually collaborated with Ryan too?
Yeah, and so it's really cool. When I was younger, when I lived in Great Falls, I was in a band with a few really cool cats, and
oh, you were in a band?
Yeah, just me and a couple friends. We put a nice little thing together.
What kind of band?
It was really cool. A really cool guy. His name was Robbie, and his name is Robbie, and just bluegrass was his thing.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Where he just was so sweet on that bluegrass. But then taking my hip hop producing, and then mashing those two styles together, man.
So is that what you would do? Is produce beats?
Yeah, I'd produce the beats, and then I'd let's say I have the drums and the horns and the piano, and then what I would do for live performance, I would just maybe take out the piano and then just play that layer of the piano while Robbie's strumming on the guitar, and then if we had a drum,
oh nice,
yeah, we would take out the drum lines of the beat. You know what I mean? So it's just.
So really you'll play keys?
Yeah, I could play a little bit of keys. What's really funny, man, is I can, if you hear my stuff, you hear the quality of my stuff. Right now I'm just going to, just be a little bit arrogant. I'm a really good producer. But, when I say that, because it's really interesting that I like absolutely suck at playing live. I just suck.
What
at
do you mean?
playing,
Oh,
like,
playing
live.
live instruments live?
Yeah, yeah. I can do it with plenty of practice, but I just don't.
Well, you don't always have to. As a
No.
performer, like that's
Yeah.
the beauty of being a producer when you can be like, I produced all this music,
Yeah,
and now you can go perform to that music live too.
yeah,
And even, dude, like some people in this world, they will kind of like talk down on that.
yeah,
Like, oh, you're playing with a backing track or whatever, and that's lame. Or what. I'm like, dude, these people are getting lit.
Yeah.
Like, you can still create a great energy, and that's your art.
it is. Yeah, you
know?
created it. So
Yeah,
it's not even
exactly.
like you're just playing somebody's thing you just borrowed off YouTube or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you created it, and it's just. I agree. And people, this summer I was doing a show in Bend this summer, and the guy who was running sound, he's like, people who have been doing music long enough know that you have to pay for a quality track, and that is a quality backing track costs money. And people want to hate on that when it's your time, your effort, like your money that went into that studio, whether it's studio or studio time. That's it. And then you create this beautiful thing. Like that's nothing to be frowned upon.
Well, yeah, and music is actually kind of taken, like, I'm not trying to say taken advantage of, but it's kind of like, it's become, there's so much music where people, I don't think that they have as much appreciation for the actual production of creating the music and how much it actually goes into it.
Man.
How long have you been doing it now, producing?
Oh, dude, I've been producing since I was probably like really, 20, I'd say like 20 years now. Yeah, just been.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's, somebody once said, like, oh, I wish I could just produce beats as fast as you or whatever. And it's like, well, it's taken over a decade plus of just learning. And like you say,
Yeah.
there's a lot of production that even back in the day, you'd be like, man, this is awesome. You listen to it 5 years later and you're like, man, I really thought it was amazing in that. I've progressed so much in that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you producing albums back then, or like songs of your own?
Yeah, just really working on the craft, man, and just perfecting it. Like I said, I've really kept a lot of my stuff. I haven't pushed anything majorly, but I'm ready now just because of the caliber. The caliber of what it is now is why I'm pushing now, and not so much in the past. And also, honestly, dude, like just really finding who I am in the music, and the music that really moves me, and I don't know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I don't like to push a product until it's ready in anything,
Well, in your music, it does sound quality, and it also sounds more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sure you can write a song that's also like a fun, like, hey, let's get together and have a party and like everybody have a good time tonight.
Yeah.
But when you go deep into yourself and you're dealing with your emotions, that's when it can become more like also therapeutic to you and other people.
Absolutely.
So what's your goals with your music?
It brings up a really good point, man. I was just in Butte earlier today, and there's this guy that I met there about a month ago, and yeah, this is just a really cool story. I was just having a hard day, man. I was just really struggling in my head, and I just felt like I was supposed to go walk on top onto this parking garage and just go up to the top and just look at Butte. And so I did that, and up there was a dude, and he was working on his car, and I just like, I'm just trying to spend some alone time up here, get a little prayer in, just chill out. I'm just gonna do that. And so I walked by him, but then I was like, I feel like I'm supposed to talk to him. So I just like go up and start talking to him, and I just like telling him about everything I'm going through, which is just my inability to be at peace with myself so often, and with my God, and just like it was just bothering me, man.
So,
and
not to interrupt, but
yeah.
So do you believe in, since you bring that up, prayer and God?
Yeah.
So do you believe in God?
Yeah.
And the power of prayer?
Absolutely.
I do as well.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
has it always been that way for you? Have you always had a belief in that?
For the most of my life, I have, dude. I really have, and it's been like an anchor to me for sure.
Have you gone through any maybe like
Doubts
tribulations and doubts?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think life is really one big doubt, and it's just how much do you have faith, and how much do you trust in God, and like that's like the for me. And then the opposite of that is when I'm not trusting in God, then I'm having all this fear, and it's crippling. You know what I mean?
The worry. I know what it's like to
Yeah.
be like a worry, or anxiety.
Yes.
Is this going to work out?
Yeah.
Why haven't things been working out?
Yeah.
What
Dude.
do I need to do?
Yeah.
Or what's the meaning?
Yeah.
I'm sure if
Yeah.
you're up on the parking garage praying, so I guess back to your story of...
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Happy to talk about it. And so I'm just like laying out my heart to this dude, and I just met him, you know, like, and that's what my music. And I'm getting to the point to answer your question about the music. What's my music about? But it's very similar to the story. It's just laying my heart out there, how broken I am, and then in return, the dude tells me a cool story about like how he was in a wheelchair, and like these two people came up to him, and they just had so much faith in their eyes that they knew that he was going to get up and walk from that wheelchair. And he did, bro. Like, he actually did get up from the wheelchair, and it's because the amount of faith
Wow.
that these people had when they like looked at him. And so then and then the next thing he does is he tells me that he struggles with meth, and he's been high for 2 days, and he's struggling because he knows that if he gets, and hasn't got high since yesterday, the night before, and he has one hit left, and he's been holding off up until this point to do it because he knows that if he does it, it's going to just continue to send him down a path where he's going to lose his job, he's going to lose his girlfriend, like all this, like he knows that he's at a crossroads. And so then what he ends up doing is pouring out his meth right there on the spot. And that was so dope to see.
He did what?
He poured out his meth. Like,
Oh, really?
On the spot, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude, that's...
Yeah.
You know, those crossroads moments, that's kind of why I went with that
Yeah.
name for this, where it's like those moments in life where you hit those crossroads of like, what choice do I make here? Do I continue going down this path?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I always think of in life, even, you know, when you have a belief in God or a higher power, and if there's a plan
Yeah.
or any sort of like destiny or predestination, but then that fact that it's like, well, we are given free will
Yeah.
to choose. Are we gonna smoke meth
Yeah. Yeah.
tonight, or are we gonna
Yeah.
not, or whatever?
Yeah,
it may
be faithful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be faithful and be a good steward. Which is, I think, you know, what a lot of what we're called to do, that is be good stewards to this earth and love, you know. And so, absolutely.
And the sad thing about those hard drugs too is that, you know, it can be a slow progression
yeah.
of, it started as a weekend one-time thing,
Yeah.
and then, you know, maybe not even just with that substance, with anything, it could be not even a substance.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now, like we were talking about before the podcast even started, different types of addictions that we have to numb. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We're all just trying to numb and hide from some pain that has been caused. You know, that, you know, whether somebody inflicted the pain on us or we caused the pain ourselves.
Dude, I was literally thinking that earlier today. Just, you know, when you have those thoughts that run through your mind
Yep.
about those things, like, I would normally be drinking a beer
Yeah.
back in my old ways.
Yeah.
And then so, like, the kombucha was an easy alternative for me. It wasn't actually easy.
No, I can't imagine.
Because I was like, oh, this stuff tastes like crap.
Yeah. 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 You're like, but they say it's healthy for me. Oh,
Yeah, or at least it's sort of.
No, it is.
It's a mild fermentation and stuff.
But then all
But
the sugary.
yeah, for sure. One notch at a time, being like, okay, I'm going to make a little change here. And these little changes, I've even thought about, you know, starting types of like support group type things.
Dude,
just because
yeah.
with the music, or building a fan base, what do you think about the whole building a fan base experience of like being an artist?
Yeah.
Even in smaller town communities where, you know, building a fan base is something people can often just laugh at you.
Yeah.
With those thoughts.
That's
yeah.
a great question, man. I think it's unfortunate that we as creators even have to deal with that, you know, because I honestly am not a fan of building the fan base. I love people, but I hate the idea of building the fan base. You know what I mean? Just like, but at the same time, you want your music to be heard. Not sometimes, I was going to say not for selfish reasons, but if I'm being honest, everybody's got a little bit of a selfish and an ego.
Oh, for sure, dude. I mean, why? Of course, it's like I'll wrestle with those thoughts of like, man, this song is amazing. I want everybody to hear it. I want the world to hear this.
Yeah.
And then you like put it out there and it's like, well, a few people heard it.
Yeah.
You know, and
like, why is this not spreading like wildfire?
Exactly, yeah. And there are ways too, like, and I've done those of like you could advertise or boost posts.
Absolutely.
And there's other things out there where I would not recommend. And I've tried different things that were like different. They'd be like a third party promotional company.
Yeah. Garbage.
Not bad, because some of those things end up just being like fake robots, loop machines or something, and I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the schemers will prey on the dreamers.
Yeah,
for sure. And they always got a new thing out there that's like,
yeah, man. That's why, again, like even why going back to the question, when did you start making your own beats? That's why I've had a hard time releasing the ability to promote to anybody else too, just because you don't know who to trust, man. You don't know who to trust, and it's unfortunate. So a lot of times I just find myself doing it all on my own. And yeah, as far as building a fan base, it sucks, but you gotta we gotta put our heads down and we just do different things to try to spread it. But it is definitely there's so much friction, especially in
because it's competitive nature of artists too.
And I think a lot of the times you're dealing with people's envy as well.
Oh, and I'll deal with my own.
Oh my God.
Or my own ego where I'm like, you know, and you can smell it or sense it on others too if they look at you. You know, I've experienced it at other shows with other artists. They might be performing on the same show, or they might be in the audience.
Absolutely.
They're just there to, be a part of the scene. But I will still have those thoughts where I'm like, why am I thinking like this? Come on, like, snap out of it. And it's part of growing.
Absolutely.
But it's hard. That friction between when you're like, I'm just trying to create allies. Yeah. But that hunger for attention.
Yeah. Yeah. That we all have to wrestle with for sure, man. I've done it. I've been guilty of it too, man, of like thinking that I'm so good that I treat the next person like subpar, and I hate that feeling when I reflect back and I'm like, oh, you totally were.
And I'll look back at myself and I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, I know. Like, why was I? It was a nice guy. Why did I?
Again, though, like I get on too much alcohol.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden I think I'm like the king of the world.
Yeah.
Or people get out there and they're like,
inflated
on
ego.
A dope rush. Yeah. And it's another thing that comes with, even if somebody gets their first 15 minutes on stage and you're under the lights and there's a crowd and it's your first show and your adrenaline kicks in and your endorphins kick in and you're like, oh. And it's such a high and such a rush that it can inflate your ego.
Absolutely.
And you can start to alienate yourself from your friends. Just, I don't know, it's a strange thing, especially nowadays with the online views, likes, all these things that we use to kind of measure.
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's weird.
It is weird, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then like everyone's always giving the latest advice. Okay, what you got to do is this, what you got to do is this. And it's like, thank you for that, but I really just want to make music. You know what I mean? It's like, that's really at the core. I just want to really let this stuff out of my heart, of my soul, And
appreciate the progression, too. Like, as an artist, like you say, a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Where you could be like, it's just not up to par yet. Or I think that on releases I've already put out, and I'm like, I could have been so much better.
No, man, yeah.
And then with the other people, like you say, critiquing it, and it's like, thank you for the constructive criticism or something, but just watch the progression in time. So your videos too. Are you doing those yourself? Are you working with other people?
Yeah, so my really good friend Simeon Long does a lot of the video work. Whenever it's time to do a video, he lives in Great Falls, so it's just funny. We have a really good relationship. So I'm like, hey, thinking about a video. When's your availability? You know what I mean? Just so then that way I can be with my friend.
Oh,
Hey,
for
you know
sure.
what I mean? And do it and have fun. Because we usually go somewhere. We usually like to do videos in fun places.
It looks like it. Like you have some cool destinations
Yeah.
and locations that you've had a lot of water. You did a bridge.
Yeah.
The one place looked like a wedding venue or something. That forfeit.
Forfeit? Oh yeah,
Video?
that was Glacier Park. That was a fun one. Yeah,
Dude, that was
and
awesome.
it is a nice little wedding venue. There's different kind of celebrations that happen at that spot, and yeah, it's a place that people see often in the summertime, but it was gorgeous in the middle of wintertime. I loved it in the middle of wintertime, and there's like not even another footprint on the venue at all. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
fresh snow. Brought the drone out for that one, as you can see. That was a really fun video. And then I just, unfortunately, my son's allergic to dogs, so I had to give my sweet Maria, the little dog, my sweet Maria.
How old's your son?
I have a 6-year-old.
Nice.
I have a 15-year-old son and also a 4-year-old twin.
Oh, 15-year-old?
Yeah.
How is it raising a 15-year-old?
Oh man, it is tough. It is really tough.
Like puberty's just got to be a whole nother like ball game.
Yeah, but you know what's really cool? He went through a hard phase, but he's like really settled. He's really settling as a human, like as a soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool watching him just kind of like find his own like settling.
That's one thing I really like about you. So far, I haven't even known you that long, but I'm like, yo, he definitely got a soul. Like, not to say that not everybody does. Not everybody lets it shine. Yeah. Not everybody's in tune with it. Not everybody. Actually, some people be like, I don't have a soul.
Yeah.
I don't believe in souls.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have a soul. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna debate that. Like, it's not for me.
Maybe you sold it. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know, dude. And that's the thing out there. What, you hear all these things about the success of. So what are your ideas on those types of things, like fame and fortune? Like, I'm sure you've had those ideas go through your mind.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. A lot of the reason why, I'm just be honest, man, a lot of the reason why I'm so ambitious is because abandonment issues and not wanting people to have the ability to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be so the man that nobody can think less of me and nobody can look down on me. And to the point where it's a fault. You know what I mean?
You the man.
Yeah. To the point where it's a fault, dude, because I'm like working so hard.
You're right, though.
Yeah.
Like,
to hide from
it's
myself.
like a, we all have character defects.
Yeah.
That we are like almost born with, where we're like, again, comes into that idea of if there's a God and a predestination, a meaning to our lives of like, what is it about ourselves? Are we supposed to? Could we change to become a better person?
Dude, I was literally on the driveway when I pulled in. I was just talking about that to my mom. I was just like, man, wouldn't it be nice? Like, I'm not. Every time I say something like this, just know that I'm willing to look at the plank in my own eye. But like, wouldn't it be nice if everybody made a strong effort to change the ways that about them that have caused destruction to them and others around them? But a lot of people don't even care, bro. Like, they're too blind to see. They're too in denial to see. And I know that I'm still have things that I'm in denial about, but I'm like, point them out to me and let me try. I'm talking to myself, you pointed out to me, and then let me try myself to see if I can overcome this. Like, we got an Amber Alert.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's funny. A 2016 Kia Soul.
Soul?
Yeah.
Speaking of souls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude. See, that's one of my. That stuff is definitely. When you become a parent.
Yeah.
What was it like becoming a parent for you,
dude?
Was it because it's like a slow change, sort of.
Oh man, dude, becoming a parent. It's like I don't know. It's so hard to become a parent, but it's what I can say is that I've grown so much as a parent. But becoming a parent, dude, yeah, it was definitely hard, man. Actually, my situations, my one of my like high school sweethearts was living in Florida because I moved down to Florida to learn how to produce music. What happened was I went to after graduating in Great Falls, I moved to Butte for a semester, and I was just like gonna go to do information technology, and I was just like, oh, I can't sit behind a computer desk my whole life. Like, I mean, at least I have to try to go for music, even if I fail.
And just to all the people out there, even if you do got a day job or a career in something else, you can still have time for your dream or other passions.
Absolutely. But I'm a dreamer, and I was young, and I was like, I'm not gonna predestine myself to a desk job. And I've worked desk jobs. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not. I was never.
I've done that, but I've also had those thoughts of like, this is not my.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not who I am. This is just a temporary thing, you know.
So I moved to Florida to learn how to produce, and I was gonna go to Full Sail, but watching all these people get, I was gonna out-stater, so I was first off. Let me back up. I wanted to get in-state tuition because it was such a huge price difference, like a third of the cost, and so I worked there for a year at a cell phone company, Sprint, which is funny because that's what I still do to this day, is cell phones.
You've always been kind of in this like technology and communications field.
Yep,
seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. But I moved down there, and then what ended up happening is a couple amazing producers ended up taking me under their wings. One of them, his name was Styx, like he produced for Mobb Deep even. So like just
nice,
just really cool to like have people take me, like, oh man, more than cool. It was divine for sure to have these guys take me under their wings and give me full access to their houses, their families.
That's a good word for it, divine.
Yeah.
Like, because that's all you could think sometimes when even if you're taking chances or going down a dream path, and the things that happen to you that are like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, the opportunities that might present itself, or
yeah,
even just like doing this podcast where it's like, oh, we got to be able to do it in person.
Absolutely. Dude, yeah. We just talked about this online like 3 or 4 days ago, and I was like, oh, yeah.
And I've had you in mind for a while, and I was like, I even think to myself, like, why haven't I hit up Albert yet?
Yeah.
You know, and I just...
And here we are.
It's a time thing. Divine timing, though, is, you know...
Yep.
So you're in Florida.
Yeah, so I'm in Florida. I'm learning how to produce. And my high school sweetheart is also in Florida. So, long story short, we end up having a child, and she moves back to Great Falls. And so I'm
like... yeah, that's a big...
Boom, yeah.
Going from Great Falls, Montana, where at in Florida?
I live in Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That'd be like a cultural shift.
Oh, it was a cultural shift.
You go from like slow motion cars to like zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Like the nightlife there was incredible. You know what I mean? Like just compared to.
They got like the big old theme parks and stuff out there, right?
Yeah, there's a place called City Walk where you can just like, whether you're drinking or not, you know what I mean? Just like you can just go out and have like a tremendous time any night of the week, you know. It was a cool place to live, and I enjoyed my time there. But baby mama's pregnant, and she moves to Great Falls, puts me in a dilemma.
Right.
And so I'm like, you know, what do? I'm now faced with this humongous decision. So what I did is I got a second job, saved up every penny, and moved back to Great Falls so I can afford a trip back to Great Falls so I can be a father. So absolutely, man.
Nice.
Like, yeah, becoming a father was not just like, I'm a father now. It was like, all right, time to step it up. And
taking responsibility for another human is actually a lot more difficult than it sounds.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about them Amber Alerts, that it's just one of the biggest, scariest things in this world. Just making sure your kids are safe, and it's hard in this technological world with cell phones and accessibility to anything you can imagine, basically.
Dude, yeah, it's wild. I was listening to this thing today, another podcast about just like missing women, dude. It's just crazy. It's crazy the things that happen to these women. They just go missing. And I have one daughter, and so I mean, I wouldn't, you know, obviously it's the same with any kid. You wouldn't want any of your kids to go missing, but just to listen to like these stories, and oh man, it's insane. Yeah, it makes you want to, like, you can worry too much, you know, definitely worry too much. But
well, those are the types of people too, like you know, again, back to this idea of a fan base and like the following of finding the right people who latch onto your music, who relate, and they're like, I want to go to that show.
Yeah.
And in my mind, a lot of times, sure, I want to cater to the general public and get people out to dance and have a good time, but I do feel like there's so many lost souls out there, or people that, like you say, abandonment issues. They might not have the parents around, or they might have had a falling out in a relationship, and when you're recovering from a broken heart, or you have a void, you know, finding refuge in music or people, you know, finding a good community and group of people is important.
Absolutely.
It'd be so isolating nowadays, you know?
Oh, so easy, especially these days. And then, you know, we all have a million friends on Facebook, but how many friends are actually in your, like, have you been in touch with today? You know what I mean? And that's the question. How many friends have you been in touch with, like, this week? Like, without social media.
I know, dude. And now social media, you've heard of the metaverse?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Yeah. We're probably going to get deeper into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and nothing against it, but if it's a supplemental thing, that's cool if it's like adding to, but when it takes away from that face-to-face hug, bro, come on. I'm a hugger, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can't, metaverse ain't gonna be able to replace the hug for some time until you have like a full bodysuit with like pressure sensors where you can feel somebody's hug or something.
Right, yeah.
You'll give it 10 years and we'll have that for sure. But for now, you know what I mean?
That mind game, it can play with you psychologically already with things on the internet. And that's why I would go through these bouts with Facebook. But again, dealing with like, that's why I was like, I got to get off and get my brain right. You know, dealing with substance abuse and like just feeling self-esteem.
Yep.
Coming out of depressions. Yeah. You know, it's a hard game even with social media because, you know, you want to see people be happy. You want to see your friends doing good.
Yes. Yes.
But if you're in a bad place, sometimes that's hard to see. Or something like that. I don't know. And again, comes like that envy.
Yeah. And then we get all of our chemical, you know, hits that we need from just even the good ones, like, you know, like our bodies are just made that way to shoot chemicals and whatever. So we get all those hits online when a lot of times we should be getting them in person because the person can see that you're hurting, you know, and then a person can see that you really need a hug after you laugh at the joke that you just made to cover up the pain. You know what I mean? But if you're just online, they don't see that. And you are, like you're saying, getting your little friendship dopamine hits with hey, how are you? You know what I mean? Or whatever. I mean, obviously it's not that corny, but just when you're just chit-chatting with your friends, you're getting your little hits, and they don't see the truth behind the screen. Yeah, man. And then you just, oh, man, yeah. It's unfortunate, dude.
Well, I like it when you will make even little quick videos.
Yeah.
Posts, and you can talk and express yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can get people could misinterpret word posts.
Yes.
And they might not understand like your tone or your sentiment behind it, and you know, that's why I do think social media could be it's a tool, and it can just be used in a good way or a bad way or the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which I've done as well.
Yeah.
And the internet is just one of those things too where it's like sometimes you forget that, or at least I would, that everybody else is on the internet too. Most everybody else. Yeah. So you might even sometimes be making a post and you're not actually thinking about all those different people that might end up seeing it. So yeah, it's interesting nowadays. You kind of got to be smart at the way you navigate. And do you want to get out of Montana more? Being the Montana boy, you're from Montana, right?
Yeah, it's so funny. Being in Missoula, I spent a lot of time in Idaho. And it's just like, it's so funny. I'm like, hey, it's the Montana boy in Idaho. It's just silly, but it's so funny.
Cool though.
Yeah, it is cool, but like we're just so like that little border right there. The forest is the forest. You know, it's so funny to cross a line and all of a sudden you're in Montana versus Idaho. But to me, what Montana represents is, dude, outdoors, freedom. Like that's why I don't go by the Montana boy, because like this is specifically, these boundaries are by representation. No, Montana to me means like wild and free, and just adventurous, exploratory. You know what I mean? That's what Montana means to me, and that is like, so wherever the exploration is, wherever the adventure is, as long as it's within my limits and still being a responsible parent, being a responsible business owner, I absolutely want to travel. I'd love to just travel, travel and do this.
Like go on tour one day? You want to go on tour?
Oh, absolutely.
Perform your music throughout the nation, or
yeah,
go around the world if you could?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. You know what's funny is I used to, like, as younger, that would be like the goal, is to try to push for something like, or dream about something like that. Now I just dream about trying to, like, one step in front of the other as far as getting better and getting more quality and getting more connected with my music, and thinking about better ways to be strategic. And so now it's just more about like the step in front of me versus the long goal. And I'm pretty good at hitting goals, and so that's why, my big thing right now, dude, is I absolutely know that my music is getting better and better, and I'm getting better at promoting it, and I'm getting more fans. I do know all those things to be true, but like what's heavy on my mind is not how quick I could go on a tour. It's how quick I can learn how to balance my life, dude. Like how to be a good father and also be push this music, because I can't stop pushing the music because it's inside of me.
Right.
So, but it's when I get my priorities out of balance is when it's almost like it becomes a weight versus something that's trajecting you forward when your priorities are not in check. But then when
I've definitely have to always work on that.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I'll have to make a list or write it down. Like, okay, what's the most important things first?
Yep.
And especially, like you say, if you do have a goal and dealing with what's right in front of you, and what are the steps to make those happen, and a lot of it is the production and the creation of, like, make good quality content, good quality music, get your performance down, and then, like you say, that connecting with the right people, and being able to communicate and coordinate.
Absolutely.
If you are, going to, like, say, putting on shows in other areas, it's not easy,
dude. Yeah, I'd like to someday. Like that is one goal that's like I would like to be in my near future. It's not. I basically need to put more intentionality towards it. But one of those near goals is to bring in artists and such like that. And that's a really great thing to do for, like I said, getting live music back when it wasn't even around. But just a really fun thing to do, bring positive artists to.
Wait, do you have a brand with your, like, when you put on a show, is it just the Montana Boy putting on a show, or do you have like a label you go your stuff under or anything?
I don't right now. The two things that I'm promoting as far as like that would benefit me directly are the Montana Boy, which is my brand of music, which I'm producing, like for myself and other people at the moment. And then the other thing is my business. I own a cell phone company, so.
Oh, you own?
Yeah. I own the cell phone company. I have about like 12 employees.
Oh, dope.
That I hire or that I keep employed around the state. Like my company is
the Snap Communications.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Yeah, Snap Communications. And so that's that keeps me on my toes too, man. And
so is that something you start or you get involved in?
Dude, so I started my own. I started 11 years ago. In Great Falls, I was the only employee, and just growing the business and growing the business and growing the business.
How did you? What is it exactly?
Absolutely, great question. So, how I started it, me and my ex-wife Lene, which I'm still really good friends with. We started it about 11 years ago, and it stands for Same Network Affordable Price.
Wait, what is it?
Cell phone, just cell phone services is what we started with. Basically, prepaid cell phone services. Right back, this was 11 years ago when the only option was Straight Talk, and Straight Talk has their issues with the customer service and stuff like that. But back then, they have issues with their customer service today. But back then, oh my goodness, it was even more horrendous than it currently is.
Smart Talk?
Straight Talk.
Straight Talk. They're like the Walmart brand?
Yep, exactly, yeah.
Or I don't know
like,
if they're a Walmart brand.
I think they're only sold at Walmart.
Oh,
though.
they are?
Yeah, so
Okay,
it is
yeah.
a Walmart.
Big corporate.
Yeah.
All across the nation.
Yep. And so what we did was provide another option. And so you don't have to be with Verizon and you don't have to be with Straight Talk. You can be with somebody local that provides you nationwide customer service still. Nationwide service. And so just providing that that little niche, that medium, like, somewhere in between, is how we started. And it was the prices are still comparable. Like we're like $5 more a month in Straight Talk. And some of our options are exactly the same price. But the fact that you have a local store that you can go to in Great Falls or Missoula, I don't have physical stores in any other cities, but I'll get to that, what I do in the other cities in just a second. But that's how we started, and just by providing that service for people. I do a lot of work on Browning. I do a lot of work on the reservation as well.
Cool.
Just like being somebody who cares about each community that I'm in, that I do business in. And
yeah, when you're more connected like that. Like, I just can't picture a face to Straight Talk.
No.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine a human. I just imagine a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something.
Oh, absolutely. It's so hard to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and it's
so hard.
that's
to talk
so
to
weird with like a communication company.
Yeah, when you call,
they always give you like the runaround where it's like, yeah, let me send you to this department, and it's like, just keep sending you to department to department.
Yeah, and then you get somebody finally, and they're like, let me transfer you, and then they transfer you back to the first, like the automated system.
Yeah. It starts all over again for sure.
It's like a horrible prank, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
dude. There's always some sort of thing out there like that. But
so
how long have you been doing this then?
11 years. I went out on my own 11 years ago. Yeah, and so it's been pretty cool watching it grow. And then, so that was our bread and butter. That's what we did. And then as time went on, then we started selling more phones, new and used phones. Like when you go to like Verizon or AT&T, they're not gonna be able to sell you a used phone. You know what I mean? But we do. We buy and sell phones, and so we recycle them. And because we're recycling phones, now all of a sudden we have to start getting into screen repair. When I first started, I wasn't trying to step on any screen repair shop's toes. Because I'm just like, that's their business. Let me do my business, and then we'll all be friends. And I still don't. I still try my best not to step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, we found ourselves having to make sure that things were working properly when we're buying and selling and fixing. You know what I mean? And so then we found ourselves fixing a little bit more and a little bit more. And then Asurion called one day, and they want us to do their remote cell phone repair. So we basically go to people's houses and we fix their phones for them.
Oh, nice.
Contract through Asurion. And I did that for Great Falls and Missoula because those were the cities that I had stores in. But then I ended up doing so well after a year, and then the people that they had like handling billings was not doing so hot. And so they asked us, they came to me and asked if we want to take over the whole state. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's an opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
And then when you're like, in my mind, I'm like, look, as a business, you're usually always looking for a growth opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So was it a good change?
Absolutely. So then all of a sudden now I have employees in every major city in Montana.
Nice.
Handling the jobs. Yeah. And so that's even why I'm here today, is why I'm here with you today. Instead of being at home in my cozy home in Missoula, is because my employee that was working this field is doing another field now. And so instead of hiring somebody else to do this, I just wanted to, I like to just like, I don't work as much as I used to. I'll just put it that way, because I'm not saying that I'm there yet and that I made it or anything like that, but dude, I have grinded so hard to get where I'm at.
Well, that's life. That's the progression and how things change. And
yeah, I thank God for where I'm at. So let me just be humble for a minute too. But the reason why I'm here today is because I just finished handling fixing cell phones for 6 people today in Helena and 5 people this morning in Butte.
So you would actually drive to their place?
Yeah.
And go in and fix it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's cool because I get to meet all these cool people.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, dude, because I could see you also as well, when I think of like the music side of you, where it's like, okay, well, you're already traveling and communicating with all these people in these major areas in Montana, so I'm like, well, eventually you just got to put on a show, and each of these places as well.
Yeah.
And which, have you put on shows in all the major areas in Montana yet?
I haven't. No, I want to. I got to meet some really cool people here in Helena this summer. A really cool blues band. But like, just like,
because I seen some pictures of you. You would perform on stage with instruments and stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I always try to go as live as I can. I got to work with some amazing musicians this summer and got to know some like just even.
You'll get guitar players on your songs too.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. Dope. Yeah, I love it, dude. I love guitar so much, man, because it's the freedom. What I do is I create such a nice pocket for artists, whether it's a singer or a rapper or a guitarist, to be able to jam on and have this quality product when we're done. A lot of times people love just jam banding, and that's all good, but like what my specialty is, I wish that I was a great jammer, but I'm a great producer, and I set up this amazing pocket for people to get funky in.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with your production, do you mainly focus on producing your stuff mainly, or do you think one day you would be producing for other people?
No, actually,
just curious.
Yeah, no, I've spent most of my time doing it for me just because I have such a high standard.
Mm-hmm.
But I am finally to the point.
And you're an artist yourself. You're a performing artist.
Absolutely.
A writer.
And it just flows from my heart.
You rap.
I
sing.
I sing, yeah. So it's funny earlier talking about how my music's kind of poppy, but But
you'll rap on it too, and it'll be like, this is
absolutely.
Like,
but it's just like, I'll start with like a bluegrass. I'll start with a rock. I'll start with hip hop. And then, yes, I do kind of put it into a mainstream package. And it's never my intention is to make it a mainstream, because I'm not like, I'm just trying to let it flow from my heart. I'm not concerned about mainstream. I'm not concerned about underground. I'm just concerned about my heart and letting it out. You know,
yeah, for sure.
I love all kinds of music, and I respect all kinds of music. And that's like what it's about, man. And I just, But to answer your question, yeah, I'm currently making some amazing songs with Tana Doll right now. And, oh, man, she's just... her voice and the way that she flows on top of my beats is just incredible. And then you heard Thomas,
like songs she writes.
Yeah, that she's like. I stepped back this summer, and I was at a Herbie Hancock show, and in Missoula, and I just seen how he's a genius, legend.
Herbie Hancock, huh?
Yeah, and he's just a legend, bro. But what he was doing out there was he was promoting this new gal, and he's like, give it up for. And she was singing on a lot of his songs, and he was just pushing her, and it just spoke to me, because there's this brilliant man, this brilliant artist, and making it a point to uplift somebody else, and that just really spoke to me. I am selfish sometimes, so yeah,
me too, and I'm trying to, and that's what I've realized again as I'm trying to step out of my own head.
Yeah,
is that. Really, I think the success lies in, building that community.
Yeah.
And, like you say, letting others shine, giving them the chance to shine as well. You'll get your shine, but all in all, if you're building something for other people, giving them that platform, like when you go put on a show,
yeah. Yep.
There are other artists performing at those shows you would host?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What kind of artists?
That's the thing, man. This is me. I have such a heart for all kinds of music, though. We'd have hip hop, we'd have blues, we'd have we'd have EDM DJs there. Like, we just go all the way.
Right.
We'd have just like straight like folky Christian music, just like all of it, everything in between, man. Heavy metal, like death step, like just all, dude. I love it. And then
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man, and then, see, it's kind of like when I was even getting into this the podcasting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh great, are people just going to be, oh, he's just commentating on now, just doing the commentaries on, that's what I think about the other people and what they got going on or whatever. And it's like, well, why not talk about our scene and what we've got going on and what it's, because there's a lot of artists, even in this state, but... and I hope there's some other podcasts and stuff like that, but in my mind, I'm like, I haven't got to hear a lot of them except for their music.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't really get as good of an idea of who you are.
Yes.
You get a little teaser of you with one of your songs. That's like, that's one of your little stories about your life.
Absolutely, man.
And being able to do this with you,
Yeah,
has just, in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's transformed our relationship too, where it's like, okay, now we've got to have a hug and a handshake,
yeah,
and feel each other's vibe,
yeah.
and then so the work we do in the future, which originally, and you hit me up originally this summer,
Oh my goodness,
to collaborate with you.
Yeah, dude, you should when you post this video, you should definitely post a link to that because you killed that verse. Dude.
Wait, it's out?
I
didn't even know.
Oh, I haven't mastered it. We'll throw it through a little mastering.
Oh, okay.
That's like, I'll do it quickly, and then and we should speak about mastering too.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'd say we just throw it through a little mastering, and we throw it out with this podcast now because that song is so incredible, dude.
Yeah, dude. And if you ever want to shoot some video stuff, even if it's like pretty simple video stuff or whatever we can do with our phones, and I have cameras and
dude, let's do it in 2 weeks when I'm back. I won't be here because next week's holiday, but
I was kind of waiting for the snow with the video because I was like, this song is.
Yeah.
What did you end up titling it?
You know what?
Or have you not even settled?
I haven't even settled yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had that cold vibe.
Yeah,
it was like,
colder than my bones' resistance. When my heart is cold and distant, I've been gone, but I sure ain't missing. Cracked just a little bit when the pavement I kissed it. Dismissed, but I won't stop the mission. Is this something? Let's see. Is this something that? Oh man, I'm drawing. I'm forgetting.
I know. I was going through it today too. I was like running through the lyrics in my head. I was like, oh man, I gotta read them all again.
Is this something that's your basically not enjoying? Admit it. I can't remember the word. Is this something that you're? It's not pissed at, but something. And then it's like, admit it that you can't get with it, and
right.
I won't change a thing. I'm still living me. Just like admitting
I'm
that,
still living me.
I'm still living
I was
me.
like, what?
Yeah,
Because I don't know if I've heard that saying that much.
Yeah.
I'm still living me.
Yeah.
Is that a saying?
I don't know, but it's just like, I'm not trying to be. I'm just
doing
me, man.
Yeah.
I'm just living me because like I've spent much of my life trying to please others, and seeing where it got me was just like.
It makes you unpleased.
Dude, come on, yeah. Like I said, even like
because then, like you say, if it's like a relationship thing, like I've gone through those bouts of being like, I'm in love with this person, and then they don't want to love me or something.
Yeah.
And
oh man.
And then it's like,
boom.
Yeah, and I don't even know where I was going with that. For some reason, my train of thought went off the rails. But
yeah. Oh man, yeah. The relation, that gets me.
Oh, what was I saying? That was something about. I can't remember, but
I was just talking about people pleasing though.
Oh, people pleasing. Yeah, that was it. Where it's like, you try to please somebody so much, so you put your heart out there for them.
Yeah.
And you're willing to sacrifice this or that, and then it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Or they don't have the same feeling, or whatever it may be, and then you just feel so almost taken advantage of, or you're like, man, even if it's not a love relationship, even if it's a business relationship, a partner, or a friend, family, it's just
absolutely, man. Yeah, so I do know all too well that it's just not worth it. And like I said, even when even a lot of the success that I have, I credit it to, like not wanting to. It's funny because like this people pleasing isn't just like always just like I'm gonna kiss your butt or anything like that. That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm just like trying to make sure that people don't look down on me.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that people don't look down on me, and that's why I tried so hard to be successful. And that has like got me not where I actually want to be. Though I have achieved success, I have not achieved success
in your heart.
Yeah,
in your mind.
And yep.
And it's another one of those perfectionist artist struggles that I always have personally.
Yeah.
Where it's like I've almost had to reprogram my brain to be like, you're worthy, or it was good, you did a good job.
Right.
Be happy with your art you created, because like you say, sometimes you're like never truly satisfied. You always want the next bite.
Yes.
As soon as you do rock a show where you're like, man, that show was rad, and then you're like, oh, it's over now, gotta do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And And then, like you say, just living up to what you know, have been striving for.
Yeah.
And then, you know, where you're like, sometimes you might attain that accomplishment and then still feel like, well, I still feel the same.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
my goal is accomplished. My life hasn't really changed that much.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So, dude, I just like learning, just really taking time in this life to really be at peace and learning how to be at peace with myself. And that's a major goal for me. And I dig it, bro. I dig it. Like that's
the key to success, or the key to enlightenment, or whatever.
Yeah.
Is all those worries and stresses, or those ego thoughts of like, I want to be this, or I want, you know, I had a friend say to me, and they've probably said it many times, stuff like, you know what I love about you is you don't care what other people think. And it's like, yeah, I do. You know,
I know.
I mean, I guess it might look like I don't sometimes, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, yeah, for sure. And when you're raising kids or running a business,
yeah,
and you want to, you know, be respected, and, you know, almost kind of like recognition is another one of those factors, like, I guess, of being recognized for what you do as a business.
yeah.
You know, so do you, even with the music business, do you think you'd ever also start a music business?
You know, I'd like to, but I'm just so like conscientious of being able to make a profit. So that's why I haven't thrown a bucket load of money or anything at trying to make it, because I'm thinking about the profit, man. And so I absolutely want to, and that's where fear kind of holds me back too, bro. Like that fear holds me back. So I'm really just trying to overcome that fear, and I'll know when the time is right. When, like, dude, there's been doors open that I just did not see opening, and I'm not even like, I know that I definitely need to apply more pressure than I currently am, but I know that when the door opens and it's time to shoot the arrow, I'll shoot the arrow.
So what if it was like, you know, major record labels like, we like what you got going on, we want to make a deal, we got $1 million and we want to work with you. What would your thoughts be if you were presented with an opportunity like that?
Yeah, man. What my thoughts would be,
you know, a lot of people they'd be like, no, selling out to a record label.
Yeah. Oh, I know, because you can easily, my thoughts would be, this sounds like a really good opportunity. I need to really think. I need to like look at the contract. But yeah, man, that would be crappy to get stuck in one of these situations.
You do hear so many bad deals,
yeah.
And that's another reason why I was like, probably just have to do it independent. Like even as an independent artist, where when you got your music out on Spotify and stuff like that, did you put that out yourself?
Yep, sure did. Yeah, I think, but I did one of the DistroKid or CD Baby, something like that. Where
there's a lot of them nowadays.
And my buddy told me about it, and I was just like, somebody who's been doing it a little bit, and they know, like, I was just like, that's what's nice to know about, just to have different people who've been doing it. Like, hey, what's your take on this? And like, like right now, my biggest thing is I need to spend more time learning the art of mastering. Or
mastering the music.
Yep.
What programs do you use to produce with and everything?
Yeah, man. So when we were talking earlier, it's funny because that's where we were going to start the conversation.
Yeah, about Apple versus
we totally spaced
Windows and Mac.
Yeah, so this whole time I've been producing on Windows, man, and I got no issues with it. But just I need to be able to take it higher, zero latency when I'm trying to perform with a little bit more of the effects that are generated by a PC, or I'm sorry, a computer, and not the mixer. In the past, I've always just kind of relied heavy on the mixer to do a lot of the reverb and effects and stuff like that.
Right.
But now it's like everyone's moving to this generation where, like the PC is doing the processing, and it's quick enough to do it live performance, and
you can have so much software plugins where you don't need the actual hardware devices.
Yeah. Yep.
So it kind of eliminates a lot of gear.
Yep. And Ryan Severson was the one who was showing me how efficient Mac is with these live software plugins. And so now, so I got my MacBook Pro, and actually that's the other thing I was going to do tonight, or tomorrow. I brought it with me on this work trip, so that way I can just spend some time programming the MacBook, because I want to make the move. I know that, like...
Oh, so you're in the learning curve phase.
Mm-hmm. So I am literally just about to go into the Mac thing. I've been iPhone now for like 2 years. Before I was always an Android and a PC guy. And I still love Android and PC, but I'm seeing how, like, with my phone, it's so much easier to transfer files to a MacBook. You can just airdrop them and such like that. So I see the conveniences, and I'm such like one of those like guys who's just so rutted, and I'm just so stuck in my ruts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't want to learn a whole new brand new thing, but I see just the convenience of being able to take a 4K video on my phone, shoot it over to a MacBook, and then the MacBook handles all the Adobe software and stuff like that. And same thing with, like, how Ryan has showed me how little latency is that the MacBook can handle when you hook up a little audio interface, and then you take your microphones and you plug them into that, and all of a sudden you have so much power at your fingertips when doing shows. And he's even, like, Ryan was even telling me how I need to switch my mixer, like when I'm out doing these shows, switch my mixer to the one that iPad will control. Mm-hmm. And so instead of a big old mixer, I have my iPad's my mixer, which is nothing new, but just I mean, it's new to a lot of people, but people who are in the industry know that this is nothing new. But to be the one to actually have to do it and learn it, it is new.
Well, learning, and that's another thing that I've learned with when it comes to the idea of putting on a show, and it's around here. There's not really, a really big established industry already, where you can have a lot of guidance and other people to help do it for you, so you just end up having to do it yourself and learn as you go.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely, man.
But I mean, starting with what you got, you can't be afraid to start with what you got.
No.
And there's guys nowadays that I've had even record stuff on their phones, and I'm like, dude, I would have totally done that back in the day if I could. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah.
Like,
some of my best friends they're always coming over with new things that they recorded right there on their phone. And, like, they're pumping out stuff quicker than I am. And I got the computer, I got all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's it's just crazy the way the world is changing. And like you said, it's like, you gotta kind of change with it. Don't want to get stuck in the past. Although I love, everything from the past, music from the past and everything. The technology, though, is just so incredible, like you say, with, if you want to alter your vocals and if you're running through your program. What program do you use?
Yeah, so currently I'm using a Mixcraft, but I haven't decided between, I think I'm probably going to try Logic first on my MacBook when I make the move in that's next week or two. Yeah, what's your thoughts? What do you think?
I mean, I've been using, like, FL Studio forever, and, it's just another one of those things where it's like, I understand it.
Yep.
I've been working with it for so long.
I know.
I've used multiple other programs, like, Cakewalk, and Ableton, and Pro Tools, and I've found that these all pretty much do the same thing. They're just kind of operate different. They look different.
Yeah.
It's just to each his own.
Yeah. My program is not available on MacBook, so I have to. I'm forced to I am forced to make a move right now. And that's why I've had this MacBook for.
And it's so hard because you're like, man, it's just all you learn the hotkeys.
I know.
The little clicks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've had this MacBook for 2 months and I haven't done it, but I was feeling pretty motivated. The fact that I brought it with me this trip, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start tackling this, learning how to ride a bike again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you think you'll be producing music just throughout life then? It's just a passion of yours?
Absolutely, man. I have my 6-year-old son. He is so I have a feeling that he's gonna be really stepping into I'm sure he's gonna surpass my skills. Like, I would love it if my son surpassed me in anything.
Oh yeah, that's the dream. That's the goal of
Absolutely.
having children, right?
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be better than me.
Yep. But I like sometimes you just know that they'll surpass me in this. Maybe they won't surpass me in that type of a
Right.
deal.
They got their own, like, everybody has their own strengths.
Yeah, exactly what they're good at. And I can already see I can see when my son was 2 years old, I could see that. Oh my goodness, I think my son, and he's my adopted son too. So it's really cool that my
nice.
adopted son I'm pretty sure is gonna be like the one who takes that mantle.
Nice.
And runs with it. Yeah.
Well, music is a really powerful thing, especially, I mean, sure, a song is a song, but when you're actually producing music, and this is when I would get, like, deep into it, even when I was, I would do, like, a report in college or something. I dropped out of college. I went to Seattle music,
same.
and I was partying too much, but
yeah, same.
Yeah, and it was Seattle. I was from Great Falls, and I was in Seattle. And I was like, whoa. But God, what was I saying about? Oh, the production. So I think I did a report on, how music can be used for, like, sonic healing, and how the power of certain frequencies, or how the certain tones or notes actually affect, like we were talking about, your chemistry in your brain and what your body releases, just even through, like, if you're producing a beat and it's like doom 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 doom, how that makes you feel. And then if you hit those happy chords, hit those sad chords, and how the music can take people through this adventure and this experience that, you can make people cry, or you can make people heal. Or, like, I've been going through a really hard time, or I've been struggling with alcoholism or drug addiction or suicidal thoughts or whatever, and your song might be that one that saves their life that night.
Absolutely, man. That's funny. That's the point of that story about the dude dropping his meth out was that I haven't talked to him in a month or so. And that was it happened 2 months ago. So I've only been able to communicate with him. He changed his number for whatever reason. So I was in Butte one day and I couldn't get a hold of him. But then I just posted a video, and then your friend requested me. He was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" I'm like, "Absolutely. I tried getting a hold of you 2 weeks ago to check on how you're doing." And he's like, "I just want you to know that listening to your music," he's like, "I checked myself into rehab, and I just want you to know that listening to your music on the daily has been helping me stay sober." Yeah.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Really, just and there's influencers nowadays, and it's like, man, how many positive influencers are out there that are not a wolf in sheep's clothing? Or and that's another one of these kind of strange things about even living in Montana, and I love Montana. I'll always live in Montana.
Yeah.
Even when it's like dreams of traveling to the moon. Jeff Bezos. No, I don't know. I don't know if I could hang with the billionaires. I'd like to think I could, but it's so strange. But what I was saying was, Montana is so culturally different than, like Orlando, Florida, Los Angeles, or something, where there is this big, a lot of pushback I'd get when pursuing music was, it's not going to happen for you. Why are you even trying? Why don't you just focus on, what's going to work around here, and don't even bother. So, your thoughts on the Montana music scene and people breaking out of here?
Man, it's near impossible. It seems like, just to be honest. And that's where
I know the feeling.
Yeah. And that's where I've let my my thoughts kind of change to not so much thinking about the big picture and thinking about like the dude who is
The little those
the one dude
influences.
the one
Yeah,
dude
every individual life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. If we can, like, if that's what happens, dude. Yeah, because I can have a big ego for sure, but over time I check it more and more as I get older, and it's just nice to be able to see my thoughts go from, I don't care, because I've performed in front of thousands of people and I've performed in front of 10 people. It doesn't matter as long as like one person hopefully is affected by it. And like, it's easy to say that. There's been times in my life where I say that and I don't fully mean it. And even now, I probably only like 90% mean it. You know what I mean? But it's greater than 50%, and that's what I'm happy about. You know, so that 90% of me is really about that, and then that 10% of me still wants that thirst for the fame and all the big lights and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, and I think that, you know, like you say, the abandonment thing, or if you're like I always think about when I would wrestle these thoughts of, you know, when you're a child or something and you see the TV and Britney Spears or Justin Timberlake or somebody that's a child star and you're a kid and you're like, man, I want to be able to just do whatever and have fun and live life. And you see this, it's kind of this illusion with the fame and the rich and fame and celebrity, the celebrityism. And that's the weird thing about with social media nowadays is how back in the day, it was like you'd go to Hollywood or Nashville or, you know, a metro, and you would kind of, no matter where you are, you could have your own little, like, local scene going on and become the king of the land or whatever. Yeah. And nowadays, anybody with a phone can shake their butt on Instagram and get 100,000 views and be like... Yeah. Create your own little like celebrityism. Yeah, it's such a strange. And I've wrestled with those thoughts of being like, again, it comes, I think, to that abandonment issue of I want to feel loved and feel that attention. Yeah. But like you say, man, it's not really about that. It's that double-edged sword where it's like, no, man, you're supposed to do this for the love of it, and it's helping other people. But then you got to wrestle with the fame and the money and, you know, and like you say, with the music business where you're like, it comes down to, is it feasible? You know, because sometimes people be like, so you're doing it for the money. And it's like, well, no, but, you know, I still got to make money at it if you want to keep putting it back into it. Like you're saying, Marty Severson, it's like, build the business, put it back into it, and... Well, I believe in your music.
Thanks, man.
How has it been for you with believers in your music? That's another big thing.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you feel the belief, or do you sometimes feel like...
I believe that it connects deeply with some people, and other people, not so much. Or just, like, they're like, generally, that's a good song. Mm-hmm. And in the past, I'd just be like, well, then they just need to clean their ears.
They don't know good music.
Yeah. But no, I'm starting to like think even deeper. I'm trying to like, dude, this season of my life is a season about capturing my heart, and because like I was praying the other day, dude, and I was praying that God unlock my heart and allow me to truly love people, like at a deeper level instead of up here, like here. And then,
well, you had a song kind of about that, right? That I was listening to earlier. It was like,
I can't help
anyone.
I can't help no one else if I can't love myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. And so I'm still on the search. I'm even like, it's actually been escalating these last few months. This search for my heart is like, oh, dude, intensifying so much. And I was like, just praying that God would unlock my heart. And I just literally don't even like. I'm a very visual. I can close my eyes and go, and I can see things. But I couldn't even locate my heart, and I was just like, bro, that's the mission, man, and just that's where I'm at, is really trying to go deeper into myself and unlock that, and that way I can truly love people. Because, dude, I'm honest to a fault sometimes, and when I walk into a room, my brain is I have such a survival brain. That like I can walk into a room and just like, well, automatically my brain will start calculating the win, It's all
Right.
about the win, and because my brain is all about the win, whatever that like success wants, my brain wants to like lead me on. I'm really just like learning how to slow down, because when you're always calculating the win, then you can't actually enjoy the relationships on the way to the win. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm at right now, is learning how to enjoy the relationships and really know people for who they are, not for how they can help the win or get to the win.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Most definitely, dude, because, you know, in the music world, and not even just the music world, any world, that's kind of how it always is. And a lot of people look at you like that. And again, it's got to be that way in like places like LA, where it's like, how can I use this person to get what I want, to get to the next person who's going to help me to get what I want, to get to the top. And then when I'm at the top and I'm all by myself and everybody I've screwed over on my way here, no.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or not loved. Even if you didn't screw them over, you didn't love them properly.
Exactly. It's that, I guess, kind of some of our human nature of maybe the ways, and again, I think it's something we learn in childhood, how to get what we want.
Yeah.
Just, and to find those little manipulations of what game do I play or what move do I make to influence this outcome.
Yeah, the survival instinct, man, you know what I mean? Just to survive. Yeah. And so I'm just really trying to slow my own thoughts down, man, and stop being about the win and start being about the people, the love for the people. And
I think that is that is the key to the survival and the win. Is like, you know, like you say, when it comes down to if it's your phone business and communicating with these people and making sure that people got what they need and it's working properly, or with the music and putting on shows where it's like, you know, for those kids with a dream that don't get a chance to perform much and they want to get out there and finally show themselves, or and then maybe guide them a little bit into the process of how to do it yourself. And like you say, it's like tuning in with your heart and what you can do to help them. It's that win-win. The win-win is what you're looking for. It seems like, or that people should, if they could focus on the win-win situation instead of I'm gonna win and they're gonna lose. Or not even just thinking about, like, that's the thing, is like I'm not even considering the people's feelings and where they're at, like truly slowing down your life to know where people are at, and that's the win-win. So what we're thinking, you're gonna be back in 2 weeks.
Let's do some video work, bro.
Dude, for sure.
Hopefully I have an awesome white Nike coat. It's like, it goes down to like basically like my knees, and I've been waiting. I picked it up in Spokane like a year ago for a winter music video.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I would like to rock that with you.
Dude, dude, it'll be fun to get into video mode. Do you like making videos?
I do. It's fun.
Yeah. Dude, it's one of my favorite things.
Awesome.
You ever
let's get out in the mountains a little bit.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I need to explore some more territory out here in Montana City area. In
we can even hike up to Mount Sentinel and rock a video up there when it's wintertime. We should get up high where you can see Helen in the background.
I don't think I've ever been up Mount Sentinel, actually.
Oh, dude, it's pretty at night. I was thinking about doing that tonight, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I like to do wild stuff like that.
A moonlight hike?
I like to get out in the woods and kind of go and just check things out in the middle of
Montana
night.
boy.
Yeah.
Out there in Montana, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, and that's the thing is, no matter what, no matter where you go in life, you'll always carry that Montana vibe with you. You know, because it's well, so wait, are you Gonzales?
Yep. So I was born in Southern California, but I was raised in Montana. Been here since I was like 8 years old. And so like I know
In Southern California?
Southern California.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of family in Texas. I have a lot of family in Mexico.
So they still in California and everything too?
Yeah, a lot of family in Cali, Texas, Mexico.
Never been down to Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, you got family in Mexico?
Yeah. And so it's really cool having.
I want to go check out Mexico one day, and like New Mexico. I got to go down to Area 51.
Yeah, for sure.
Storm the gates.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen videos of that. Like they're just like standing there having to stare off at the guards at the Area 51.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, but there's just so much. Life's just seriously an amazing thing, and that's
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad that now I think 2022 is going to be a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Definitely. The last 2 years have been kind of weird, but whatever we've gone through as a humanity,
Yeah.
and as a whole, that's such a, it is weird to sometimes think that, us as a species, how we're growing.
Yeah.
And, there's like new age people that like, we're going through a shift in our consciousness and we're all going to be going through these changes. The woke,
Yeah.
And, but I do think that there is some sort of change happening. Hopefully it's,
absolutely.
like you say, just making those better decisions in life. Like, what can I do to become better?
Yeah, man.
You got resolutions for the new year? Anything? I'm just curious. Hit my mind.
Yeah, I think, my resolutions are just continue to learn how to balance everything properly. Dude, this is a big one, is learn how to just be instead of trying to do all the time. Man. Oh my goodness. And that's like one of the points that like we were talking about earlier about like this about like Facebook and everything is, dude, this thing, like I'm a fan of, obviously I own a cell phone company. Of course I love these things for multiple reasons. But, dude, honestly, like, this thing causes me so much anxiety, bro.
Oh.
So, I can't be when this is near me, dude. It's so hard for me to be when this is near me.
You got the wall on the back of that?
Yeah. And
yeah, man. It's, even with...
Like, I'm talking about just be okay with nothing. Be okay with stillness. When this is so close, when it's just within reaching distance, it's so hard to be.
It is. You always got a new update to check, or like, there's always a million different things you could do on that. Mm-hmm. All the different apps nowadays. So where are you on the apps? Like, where can people find you on the internet then if they want to connect with you?
For sure, man. Yeah, because like I said, I still am about it. But just learning how to balance it, and that's
the balance is the key. Because I have a homie too who, and I've gone through phases where I'm like, I've been hacked on the internet, and I've been like, you know what? I'm unplugging it. I need space to just reset and regroup.
Yep.
But yeah, so where are you on the internet?
So Facebook, let's see, a little SoundCloud. I'm getting ready. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music.
You're on the Instagram?
And a little bit on the Instagram, a little bit on the gram.
You got a YouTube channel?
Got the YouTube channel. I know that I could definitely step it up I need to step up my TikTok game and a lot of these other things, but I'm just, like I said, I'm not trying to, like, eventually I'll make a big push on that area. Lately I've just been about being satisfied with what is happening and then continuing to just move forward, put pressure on it. I used to be
reality is the most important thing. All the digital realities, they're important in ways, especially if you have a business, or if you're, once you kind of make those transitions and you start to become a public figure, or a performer or an influence on anybody, then it kind of starts to change the outlook of things. And in my mind, I would say, I'm like, Albert is a positive influence to people, and his music is good for people. No offense to the guys out there that make like, rock,
absolutely,
express yourself for sure. But I'm super stoked to see, because as I'm reconnecting and replugging in with people. Oh, and I hit you up about the Good Vibes Cipher.
Oh yeah,
SOULFIRE beats thing.
Yeah, I picked out a beat.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you do. It's and of course I've had those thoughts where I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have called it Good Vibes, but I'm like, well, it's more aligned with like the brand and the idea of being positive, and throwing an event. You want to throw events that are. It's not like I'm making music for children, although I do family stuff. But you want to be receptible to, like, grandma.
Yeah.
or, you know, just the regular Joes, and not like, you know, just the ones that are lost souls.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely, dude. When I'm doing these outdoors events and I'm inviting people, I'm just like, they're like, you know, what do you want us to bring? And I'm like, bring you, but if there's cussing, just bring it, just tone it down. I'm not saying don't cuss. I'm saying just tone it way down, because we're out here doing these shows, and like some of them are in parks and stuff like that. There's kids,
right.
So like, you know, I mean, just like let's just express ourselves, but let's do it in a way where we can show everybody, you know what I mean, and not be uninvited from that neighborhood again.
Yeah, true that. And I've been at shows,
yeah,
and even shows that other people are hosting, and that were more kind of like a charitable event or something like that, and you know, then they'd get some pretty gnarly stuff and like really like profane.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, yeah, sure, I've listened to that plenty, and I know that life, but it was so awkward. Like, and it's like, man, this awkward feeling has, like, everybody's got to be aware of this, you know, and even the performers that are kind of making it awkward.
For sure.
You know, it's just not the right, sometimes they're not the right settings for that type of, you know, and
that's what I like about any artist who can express themselves in an unfiltered way, but then also a filtered way, and then being able to adapt. That's one thing that I like. One of the gifts that I'm just extremely grateful in myself for is the ability to be adaptable, and just to get up and rise to the challenge every time I'm knocked down. Resilience, that's the word. So, but yeah, adaptability and resiliency, man. Just be able to adapt and be able to perform your music. And dude, I perform my music at bars, festivals, parks, churches, all of it, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
How is it performing in a church? I don't know if I've ever performed in a church, except for like when I was doing church stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I know, and it's like, and it's new territory for me. But I'm like, I've been the cat who was super religious, and I'm just like, I'm not willing to be that guy anymore. But I'm a guy who's like, I'm just like, I'm a follower of Christ, and I just want to spread that joy and that mercy. And yes, like, there are standards, but at the same time, dude, like, it's not about like beating somebody up, dude. It's about loving somebody through.
Yeah, you know, about Christ, there's times in my life where, and I was raised Christian and Catholic.
Yeah.
From my Irish heritage, Catholic. And I've read into all kinds of religions or belief systems, even if they're not specifically a religion. But for me, I have had experiences in my life that, you know, I'd have like miracles.
Yeah. Like the dude in the wheelchair.
Yeah, dude. And, or even I remember there was this one time I ended up in jail, Great Falls, for drinking underage too much and not taking care of my, all my fines and community service and taking care of my responsibilities. I was just still going out and getting drunk.
Yeah.
And so eventually it caught up with me.
Yeah.
And I ended up in jail with this time because it was like, I think I couldn't like get bail because there was so much time that I put it off.
Yeah, they were like, we don't trust you.
Yeah, and I remember, you know, again being like, man, I'm such an idiot. I would like believe in karma and like, you know, make good choices, good things will happen, and I was still making bad choices. And then I would go to these prayer groups in jail and stuff like that, and then I remember having this dream one night that was like somebody came up to me like an angel in a dream.
Yeah.
And was like you've been saved or something. And I woke up the next day and like radioed the guards, and because they lined me up with like 8 months or like 9 months or something. I was like, fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. Yeah.
And they're like, you don't get bail, but you get out in like 2 weeks.
What?
So I was like, if, you know, if God is all powerful and he could change anything in this universe, or he could manipulate time or reality, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what happened, but I think something miraculous happened. That was just one of the little miracles in my life. There have been many others, and I don't really push it onto people, Christ or anything, but I do believe, because I've had my own experiences, and I do believe. Did you ever hear about the this another chemical in the brain called the Christos?
I haven't, no.
So there's this brain, they call it this serum, the Christos. It's like a sacred secretion in the brain. It might come from the like pituitary gland.
Okay.
But they just say, I'd get really into meditation to try to calm myself and find inner peace,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would get into like Buddhist stuff, or be like, how do I just control my anger?
Yeah.
And find that inner peace. And they'd have these talks about this Christos, where it was like once you get to this place in your body and your mind where it releases this chemical through your spine, and it travels through your body and back up into the brain, and how it really is esoteric for like Christmas and all these things. It's all esoteric with what's happening in your brain and your body. And it basically comes down to this idea of when you spread that chemical through your body, I think the idea is, call it like Christ consciousness, or you're able to treat people a little better with more love and kindness and accepting. And I think it comes down to that idea again of like the Christ within you.
Yeah.
Where,
yeah.
And that's what I would feel like a lot of parts like separate from this good force of like God or Christ.
Yeah.
And then it was like I finally had to like allow it to operate in my life.
Yeah.
And no longer have the wall built. That was like to each his own.
For sure.
But I had those moments in my life where I was like, I surrender.
Yeah.
Like I hit my rock bottom.
Yep.
I need. Yeah. What's going on here? What do you got planned for me? Yeah.
I do know, man. I do know. Dude, I'm just I try to run from it, but I know I'm a big believer in, the spirituality of life, dude. And just like I was just at the hot springs a couple days ago, and this raven came up to me, and it was like 20 feet away. And the moment the raven pulled up, dude, I knew it was something spiritual. Like sometimes you just see a bird and it's a bird, but that raven was there to speak to me and to. And then, like, after I did some research, like, even how ravens, like, what they mean in the Bible, and it's God's provision. And I've just been, like, crying out, like, just for this whole heart thing that I'm going through. And so it was just beautiful, man, just to, like, have these moments where I know for a fact that this raven was there on a spiritual assignment to, like, let me know that God is providing for me. And so, like, yeah, and I'm not perfect by any means. I mess up. I still struggle with my own addictions, absolutely.
And I don't think anybody really is. I don't think that we're designed to be perfect.
No.
We're a flawed species.
Dude, and when we try to act perfect is when we get overzealous and like all this righteous vibe where like we're above people.
Dude, okay, and so that's another one of those things that I would... The self-righteousness of... Yeah. It's almost, okay, again comes in this like Messiah complex.
Yeah.
Or God complex of... people would say that to me. I've had friends be like, you have a Messiah complex because you feel like building a following or getting these people, or you can help lost soul, or, inspire people that are feeling low. And I know you're that type of person too, where you're like, absolutely. I just want to inspire people. I want to make you feel good. If you're feeling down, listen to this song or come to the show, and we're here for you. It's all love.
Yeah.
And... I can see how Messiah complex, like if people can't take care of themselves, like you say, if I can't love myself, how am I supposed to love you?
Yeah.
So again, it does come into that whole, the soul searching of find yourself. And I think you're on the right path, bro. Yeah. And
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Thanks for contacting me initially. And I think it was actually Johnny Ravenscroft. Yeah. That hit me up. And he told me about your festival you're putting on.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I remember Johnny Ravenscroft from, I went to church with him and his brother.
Jimmy,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I grew up around that. And, yeah, Johnny's cool. He's rad. He's still playing? music with the band and stuff?
He's down in Vegas doing.
He's
his
in
thing.
Vegas?
Yeah, dude, he's in Vegas doing his thing. Like
He went from church to Vegas. No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Church to Sin City. No.
And Johnny's totally developed into his own human being. He's just a cool, free-thinking man. And dude, me and him have made some amazing songs together, and we continue to, man, make some amazing songs. It was funny. We had made this really amazing. He produced this beat, and he's like, "Will you write to this?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I will." So I wrote a song to it, and then he, this was like maybe a year ago, and then he got it all together, mastered it. But in the move to Vegas, he accidentally lost the files.
Oh no!
Yeah, but he found a backup. He found a backup somewhere where he was able to take that, and because he's gotten better in this last year, he took the original, the backup file that wasn't completed to the point, and then he rebuilt it, and it sounds incredible. He just said that to me like last week, and I'm like,
so it's not out like on the waves yet?
No, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the demo, but bro, whew,
dude, I'd love to check that.
Yeah, it's amazing, bro. He produced all of it, and I just added vocals and it's like, dude, it has like a Manny Fresh vibe, like, you know,
nice.
Just that Hot Boys style. Just like,
hell yeah,
yeah.
Dude, Johnny, I think he was one of the first. I think it was him. He was like at one of my shows, one of my first like bands I had in Great Falls.
Yeah,
when we had like first batches of merch and stuff, and he was like, "Get the whole band to sign my thing."
Yeah.
And it was cool because it was kind of one of those first experiences I had of, you know how it is. It's weird to go through those transitions where you're like, yeah, I am trying to get to a point where it's like your art is having a good influence on these people and they believe in you.
Yeah.
But then when they want you, like, hey, will you sign this piece of thing? And it's like kind of a weird feeling. But yeah, Johnny Ravenscroft was the first one. And I'll never forget that. I'll always remember his face being like, yo, you gotta sign this.
Yeah.
He was just a little kid back then. He wasn't even, because now he's like super tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look up to him.
Yeah.
Physically. And also, he's younger than me, so I physically look up to him, but I also, like...
And he's helped me out many times, too, with, like, putting on shows or connecting me.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, that's what it's all about, is having good connections. Dude, our connection now is so much stronger, bro.
Dude, yeah.
Like, I can't wait to shoot the video.
Me too, man.
And do the music collaborations.
Yeah.
And
dude,
just see where else it goes.
The verse you spit on that, dude, was incredible. I've been listening to this last week. And
that's when I was getting sober, when I first...
Yeah.
I was maybe... I hadn't gone to Los Angeles yet.
You know, no, you were a couple weeks sober.
Oh, wait, Okay, I got back from Los Angeles with the boys.
I think you hadn't left yet, or did you? I don't think.
And then I was going to go again with my wife.
That's what it was. Okay.
And the reason I even took my second chance with it was because I got delayed in... my flight got delayed in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
On the way back.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't let anybody else on board. The weather's too bad in hell and we can't land.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I've been gone a week from my family. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
My kids are crying. And they're like, we'll give you all like $500 and a room.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll take my chance. And of course, trying to expand, go out to LA, where I'm like, okay, because the real dream is one day, me and my crew of whoever I'm trusting and working with in that moment, if it all aligns, like there could be a day in our lives where you and I would be like, okay, we're going out on a jaunt or whatever to travel, perform, come back home.
Yeah.
And
why not?
But got to get out there and and I do want to connect with even those Live Aid where it's like, got to get the connections so that we can get on those really big, you know, exposure concerts.
Yep.
And one day, you know, just... It is kind of scary, but I do believe it's possible for us. Mm-hmm. And especially if, you know, I think you have the right type of, like, the energy behind it and intent and heart behind your music, especially if you're still just working on becoming a better person. Yeah. You know, then...
That's the priority, yeah.
Well, dang, bro. I don't even know. We probably talked like 2 hours or something, huh?
Yeah, it's all good, though.
Dude, I'm super stoked. Hopefully it all recorded properly.
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid about that. I'm like, no.
Oh, my mic's been off the whole time?
Yeah, for sure. Well, sweet. So you'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Get some video shot. We'll make
do it.
some plans for it. Yeah, we'll have some collaborations. I'm looking forward to your new music, and I can't wait to hear that collaboration with Johnny.
Oh man, yeah, it's all, dude. It's beautiful stuff that's coming out. It's incredible, man. I love it. I'm
So,
excited
and you
to
got
share.
your own that you're still working on. Are you
Mhm.
working on an album then?
Yep.
You're just plugging away the music. You just got to get all your A's together.
A's, yeah. I have enough. I have enough content to put out a triple album right now, but I'm like just a couple inspirations short of what I want it to.
And it's also, from what I've learned, is it's not only just about, you know, creating the good music, but when you are finally ready to release it, kind of how you deliver it to the people.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm telling you, man, I feel like the doors are opening slowly. Like I said, I see things visually in my head. I'm a big dreamer, so I feel like the doors are slow. These humongous doors are opening slowly. At the same time, I'm pulling the arrow back. You know what I
Right.
mean? So there's this tension building up. But when I release that arrow, it's gonna go flying right out the doors, bro. Yeah.
Dude, that's what. Okay, we got to end on that note right there. That one was solid, dude.
Yeah.
I can see it. I
Yeah.
believe in it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, bro.
Of
I am
course,
super
yeah.
stoked. This was a rad first, like, podcast in person.
Yeah.
It was awesome. One day, we'll be doing this some more, and we'll do another chat of these sometime.
Absolutely, man.
Next time, we'll
excited.
probably be too busy shooting the music video, so we won't really be able to do this.
Yeah, we can do it like on set of the video.
Yeah, we'll just chop it up a little bit real quick
Yeah.
and make some posts. Here, yeah, I'll shut this down. We'll get a picture.
Yeah.
We'll get a selfie.
Selfie
We're living in
time.
the selfie era.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
I meant to do it beforehand.
yeah, me too. I was like, I'm excited to take a selfie with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's those moments in life and the people you meet, and that's the crossroads thing of why I've kind of leaned into that brand, and is
I dig it.
those people you meet in life are really,
Yeah.
you know, what life's about. You know, sure, you could buy yourself a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Is life about the Ferrari? It's pretty nice to drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or is it about, you know, the awesome people you've met along the way
Yep.
and the conversations you've shared?
Yeah.
It's amazing how a conversation can
So true,
take
bro.
you places.
Yeah, and the expensive things just cost more to maintain, bro. And it's better to just have the things that you're blessed with and supposed to have, not the things that we strived for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you say, that being thing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. Of
course.
Thanks for making it live in person, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut her down.
Sounds good, my
All right,
man.
much love, dog.
Much love to you too, brother. Good talk.
Good talk.